So here we go, my friends. Thank you very much for joining me. I'm Zsuzsanna, and I'm here to talk to you about the energy in June. And that is my take. The energy what we are bringing forward is going to be what we are bringing forward and what we are talking about. So here we go. The energy, the feeling, the sensations in June, and then it goes out for all of you. And you can ponder about, you can feel whether it is resonating or to what extent it is resonating with you. So here we go. Now, a few days ago, I had this sensation when I asked, what is the most important thing we need to know or we need to be aware of this month, June 2024? And immediately when I was asking the question, I felt a mountain appearing behind me. Of course, not a real mountain because I just had my my blue screen behind me. Not a real mountain, but a mountain. The big ones you would really climb upon, and the rocky one of those mountains. And while I was standing with that imaginary energy mountain behind me, I noticed three rocks in front of me. Again, just imagining, energetically. This is what the vision, the energy, the space was shown. Three rocks, one, two, and three. Not in a straight line, but one here and then over there and over there. And then as I was just curiously waiting for the next thing to happen with the mountain, I was feeling the water coming, cascading down through the little sections, through the little cracks of the mountain. Not the splashing water, but then the very, very gentle one. The water was splashing over there and over there. But in this reality, as I asked the question, what do we need to understand? What do we need to feel, be aware of for the month of June? This is what I got. So listen to this interesting story. So the water was cascading down from the mountain, and as it was going through, flowing through me, flowing through the energy, flowing through the side of me, the water found its way, touching one of the rocks and then the next one, and then meandering and flowing gently, gently, touching very quietly without any big splash, but then just quietly finding its way. It did not stop. It did not wonder, what shall we do now when we got to the first rock or the second one and then the third one, but the water naturally flew and found its way, found its own course as it needed to go. And then that water continued coming down. So I'm not saying this is the water energy and then the air energy. I do not work that way. I just work with the way how the consciousness energy is showing us the conversation. And I really like that image. I really liked the sensation that the water was not questioning anything. The water was flowing and taking its own time, taking its own course wherever it needed to go. And what the droplets in the water knew, and while they were up in the mountain, would they know? Did they know where they were going to end up and which droplet is going to touch the first rock, the second and the third one first, and which droplets are the leaders in that splash of water, the flow of water, or which are the ones who are just following, and which are the ones who are touching the rocks directly, which are the ones who are flowing in the middle of that flow of water, which ones are the ones who are really ahead of everything, and then they are the ones, metaphorically, who are watching out for the space to move forward, for safely moving forward. Just notice how actually that word is given to us, moving forward. Droplets did not know what was coming forward. Droplets did not think. They did not even anticipate. They were just going through that path where they needed to go through the energy leading them, through the energy leading them. Now, what happens? Just notice what is happening with this conversation, that within the water, the amount of water coming down, droplets. Are they different types of droplets, or they are all the same droplets? Just think about that. In my understanding, or how I was sensing them, every single droplet was the same as the other one, crystal clear as they were, without any, if I say egos, without any personal conversation. Their conversation energetically, it was much important for the droplets to keep together and going and flowing all together because they knew this is how they needed to go and flow, because this is how their energies and their path, their journeys have been ever since, from whichever space they started from. They know this is how they are moving forward, without one standing here and standing there. And then within that metaphor for the energy for June is that, some of the droplets will be the one, or were the one, touching the rock here, and then that rock, and then that rock. Maybe one droplet needed to be here at this point, at that very moment in space. It did not need to be over there for the second rock, because there were other droplets touching themselves, touching, feeling, holding the barrier to the rest of them on the second rock, and so on and so on. So it felt like every single droplet knew its own position, and they knew why they were there. That little droplet did not question, did not say, oh, I don't want to be here, I want to be on the second rock because the sun is shining brighter over there. Or the second one did not say, oh, I want to be the first one, I want to be amongst the leading droplets, not the ones behind. I don't want to be the second, I don't want to be the third. They all knew why they were there, where they were there, how they were there, why they were there at the exact time, and exact space, how they needed to be there. So there was that energy moving forward. And then I also thought that it's interesting, but what would happen if there is another droplet? I mean, it wasn't in the picture, but then just ponder about the conversation. So we are talking about the energy of June, and I trust that by now you are sensing the energy while I'm talking about the individual droplets who put their individual conversations to the side, although they could have their conversations individually when they are by themselves, but when they are together, they are moving together, and then they are going and flowing with the energy, and finding and supporting the way, and supporting within their position, supporting all the other droplets, because they know that their essence is flowing all together and keeping themselves all together, how they have been ever since when they were created, when they came into existence. But then while I was in this picture, and then just pondering and wondering and sensing this conversation, my human question, okay, Zsuzsanna's question was, well, what would happen if there was a different type of droplet attached itself to the flow of this crystal clear water, with the community of crystal clear droplets, let's say a drop of oil, which has a different energy, or a drop of water which is muddy, not the crystal clear one, but then the muddy. Maybe there is an open section where the water had sat before, and then the water had been muddy, and maybe waiting for all the other droplets to come down and do something. So that's one energy. And then again, the droplet of oil is a different frequency. How would they relate to all the other droplets who already all together knew where they were coming from, knew their path, knew their cause, knew their cause of life and movement, knew their situation, had the understanding why they were all together in this way, and trusting that with the flow, which is their nature, they will be guided, and they will find a way how they need to move forward without any sharp angles, anything to stop them, basically, because they just know that they need to go. Okay. But then if there is any type of different droplet attaching itself to this community, then the energy, the resonance, the communication changes. And then again, if you think about your personal life, if you think about your work, any kind of situation, you would feel that sometimes, just generally speaking, you would feel that sometimes you feel the easiness within the family, within your community. You take your example. you feel the easiness, and then you feel that, oh yes, we are keeping together. People are contributing, people are watching out for each other, listening to each other. There is that energy of trusting, because we are moving forward all together. And then every single one of us within that community holding our frequencies as bright as possible, as clear as possible, meaning that every single droplet, every single person within our community doing whatever it takes to do whatever they need to do, whether they are aware of it or not. Okay, so I'm talking about us all together, human beings, human people, us little ones here on this earth plane, moving together, moving along together. Now, what happens? What happens if there is something else coming along? We still need to remember where they are. You know, little droplets, they keep together. They would feel, metaphorically, okay, they would feel the frequency of a different droplet, and they would know it is different. They would know what to do with that. A droplet would not stand out and start fighting the one over there, the oil one, saying that you don't belong, you are not here, you are this and that. But then there would be more of an observance of the situation, and then at the same time still holding together with the others, all together, because that little droplet who observes, who asks the question, who listens, who ponders and wonders about the given situation, would still know and still knows that its position is together with the others, because this is how its human nature is being created. Okay, it's being created. So if I translate it into human life, we are keeping together. Okay, so I feel this is a very powerful message. A first message: we have the backing, the mountain, the strength, because if we go to this point, we go to this far, far in our reality, June 2024. If you are still here, then there is a reason why we are here. And moving forward is knowing who we are individually, okay, but at the same time knowing that there is a reason why we are there together and we are moving together. There will be one rock here, and then there will be one rock here, and then another one and another one, meaning there will be obstacles, there will be challenges, but then trusting at the same time that we are able to find the way, and finding the way because we have always, forever, ever found the way, because that is our nature, human nature, and keeping together, we are finding the way. So if you have conversations within your family or your work, at your work, or whatever your situation is, just feel into that space when you are quietly, just take a breath and think about and ponder, just observe, okay, so what is happening here? How can I be a droplet? Okay, how can I be that crystal clear droplet within that situation? Because wherever we are, whichever community we are in service to, wherever we are situated, being put there, any given time and space we are there, because this is where we need to be. Okay, it means that there is a lesson of what we need to realize in that very moment. So little droplet, not fighting against the others. I want to be here, I don't want to be there. I'm accepting where I am, but at the same time, I know that we are there for a reason, while all of us is there or are there for a reason. And if I open the conversation for higher consciousness, really opening the conversation, we know that this is where we need to be. All our human beings, every single one of us, we are here because this is where we need to be. And this is what we need to do. This is what we need to go through. Looking after ourselves individually, but at the same time knowing that we are part of the whole thing. And nothing is going to be stagnant. The water is coming down, there is movement. There is always a movement. Even if there is one droplet on a still surface, that's going to have or has already its own frequency. And my goodness me, if there is anything very gentle energies coming along, then it's already shaking its conversation. If you talk about how you talk to a droplet and what words you are saying, all those things, that's already changing. Even just the thought is changing our reality. Now, this is leading to the next point I wanted to highlight here, is that when I asked consciousness, okay, what else do we need to know, be aware of, June? Now, one more thing, because if you are still wondering what about the droplet of the oil, that one has a different purpose a different reason to be here, different purpose, different lesson to experience. And it's not that we are here and then it's over there, and then we are here and then we are different from all the others. But then again, if you see the big picture, you are here, we are here because there is a reason, and that is here because that is a reason. And both of us, all of us, are here for a reason. And then we are experiencing it as it is. It is much easier. Excuse me, it is much easier to go with the flow every single moment, reflecting on what do I need to understand, what am I understanding here in this very moment, what is my mission here. Always start with taking a breath and then ask the question and just allow that energy, that conversation coming to you. If you have maybe doubtful thoughts, maybe within your family relationships or at work, bring it back to yourself, because everybody is there, okay, for a reason. Everything is happening for a reason. Now, I mentioned the word breathing, and that leads us to the second point, which is the breathing. Now, I'll tell you an interesting thing. A couple of days ago, I woke up, and of course, we wake up. What do we do when we wake up? We are thinking, what is the day? Do I need to wake up? Am I on time? What am I doing? Or what are the children doing? All those things. So we are immediately in the thinking mode within our head. But then I caught myself taking a breath. I've been talking about take a breath. What is the first thing you are doing when you are waking up? And then if you have followed my conversations, this is a recurring conversation. But what Spirit said, consciousness, okay, the energy that when you know that you are taking your first breath in a way that when you are back into your physical reality, so you are able to acknowledge that first breath, I'm back to my body. The very first breath as you are waking up. So we catch ourselves. We know that if we train ourselves, of course, we can catch ourselves, and we can be very grateful for that before we start thinking about the daily schedule. But then what consciousness was showing me that, what about if you catch yourself with the breath before the first breath while you are, or when you are back to your physical reality? So I was pondering about that. And that is actually, my lovely friend, this is an invitation to you. Catch yourself, catch your first breath when you are waking up, feeling it, first of all, feeling it in your body, acknowledging that, okay, I'm back into my physical body. It means there is another day here. And then acknowledging that, being grateful and feeling that frequency. And then you can start thinking about your schedule. And then, this is a new thing. Feel the breathing before that. What is the breath? When is the breath? What type of breath are you taking before the first breath? Can you sense it? Can you have the awareness? What is your awareness? Can I catch that breath, the penultimate breath, before I wake up for the first breath? So ponder about this. Is it possible? Is it possible at all? Now, since this conversation came to me, I feel that we need to think about this. We need to ponder about this. And then every single one of us, and this is our lesson for you now, catching ourselves, the one before the breathing, the breath, the one before the one I would normally notice once I have my awareness, once I have trained myself. Okay. So if this conversation has come forward, it means that we are opening the conversation and we are catching ourselves. We are feeling into the space. So make a commitment, make it as a commitment for yourself, and program yourself. Tell yourself that when you are waking up in the morning, you are aware, you are lovingly welcoming the very first breath you take. But then at the same time, you are curious where the other breath, the one before, is, or where is it coming from? Can I sense it? How can I have one breath I am sensing or not sensing many, because I'm dreaming, and then I'm waking up, and can I catch the one before, and then can I catch the first one? So experiment with that. Let me know how you are getting on with this breathing modality, breathing technique. I'm not going to put any label to it, because it's just a little reflection. But then, because this was given for the month of June 2024, now I feel I need to share it. Okay, so that is one thing. Now, another thing for June, I'm looking down because I had to jot down my thoughts on this. Now, one thing. when we are feeling that, so it's like, again, with families, situations, interaction, communication with people, very subtly, we can just react, respond to somebody's comments, conversation, action, anything. And because why? Because this is our default. But then consciousness is inviting us to, even greater than any time before, pause, pause. And then once you have done some breathing work, you followed your breath and you know where your breathing is, you are aware of that, you know how to come back to your breath, you will have greater opening with this, because consciousness is inviting now to catch that breath, what you are taking, while the other one is bringing their conversation, their questions, their phone call, their demands, anything onto us, anything happening while you are driving. And then you know that, oh, I would respond, I would think something, I would say something, I would do something, I would react, I would respond. But then what they are inviting us to do now is that catch the breath while you are in that position, and the one before you would respond. Similarly to the first breath in the morning, you catch yourself, where is my breath? Am I breathing? Okay, I am focusing on my breathing for a split second while I am feeling, sensing, noticing all the other things happening around me. And I know I would normally react and respond, but you know what? Before I do that, let me just catch my breath, that one thing. So your focus, and this is an invitation for June 24, is that you catch yourself, where is my breath? And then you feel the space. Now, the interesting thing here was what consciousness, the energy, okay, spirit, higher us, higher selves, higher everything over there, One day I will talk to you about why we are using the words and why all those things, but not now. But then what the invitation is, that when you are catching yourself, notice the gap between the next step, the next breath you would be taking, because that breath would normally allow you to react, to respond, to do, to say all those, your normal thing, the default space of what we have. But then now they are inviting us to be even greater, going with the nitty gritty of our reality and existence through our breathing. So what they are saying is that, okay, you quote yourself with the one before breath while you are in the midst of everything, and then watch what is coming after that breath and before the taking the breath, which would make you do something, say something, or act upon, respond. There's a gap, and then consciousness is inviting us to really fill into the gap. Be curious of the gap. Is it a big gap? Is it a quiet one? Is it a silent one? What do I hear? What do I sense? What do I taste in that moment of gap while I am breathing? And I know of course I trust, because there's another breath I take afterwards. But then what happens between the two breaths whilst everything is happening in real life? Now, I really feel that once we have that sensation, we have that awareness to bring ourselves to that very minute second of reality, in that very, very delicate, subtle point in time and space, we are going to have great awakenings and great realizations. Okay, it is going to happen on every single on our individual level, for those ones who are paying attention and taking the time and reflecting and allowing themselves to experience that. The ones who are curious, who bring that internal conversation, internal energy. Actually, I want to understand more. I want to sense what she's talking about here and on this recording. I want to feel what is she talking about, because I honestly, it's not coming from me. When I asked a question, immediately these things came forward. That morning when I took the breath and I was wondering, oh, where is the other one? What is the conversation? Where is the space? Then the whole conversation came forward, because I would normally wake up and would think, oh, am I on time? Did I oversleep? Or all those, the real human conversations, what we would have, all those, immediately we take actions, all those things. But then because this came forward, I felt, and I'm really feeling I need to share about this now for the June of 2024. Because if we are catching ourselves being that being in that very subtle energy, very gracefully, very curiously, very playfully, very humbly, allowing ourselves to experience that energy, then the opening is there for every single one of us. And it's very delicate, it's very personal, it's very individual, and in that sense, it's very impersonal. Because then we are in that sense, in that space, in that time, if you measure it that way, our individual energy as who we are as one person is not going to be important. That conversation comes when we start thinking about the day, similar to the droplets. Okay, so can you see the parallel between the two? Amazing. So I know June 24, lots are happening in our real human life on the three-dimensional, dense, earthy reality. But then you see, consciousness is talking about something else. This is what they are showing us for this month. Now, let's see. There is something else here. When we are, yes, so on the individual level, now I'm talking to you on the individual level. If you have, for instance, your own job, your business, your ideas, whether you call yourself a creative person, whether you have just started something. So it's the doing area of your life. What consciousness is inviting us to do is that when you have the ideas, acknowledge your ideas. No ideas are bad ideas. I was just hearing this like different levels. This sentence, I had to listen to it, what it sounds like when I'm saying it out loud in English, but meaning that when you have an idea, catch it without pushing it away or without ignoring it. Because once you have an idea, any kind of through your senses, okay, when you have something, you catch it, make a note of that. You need to catch it because it is there, it is given into your own zone, into your own energy bubble, because that is yours. Okay, because you are the only one who can catch that piece of information, feel, sense, hear, smell, knowledge, just know. Okay, and then your job is to catch it. Okay, because there will be more and more. I feel that as I'm right now directly talking, I feel that consciousness, okay, God consciousness, they will be giving us a lot of ideas, solutions, like bombarding us. Okay, I don't like using the word bombarding, but giving us a lot of solutions, like very far, like firework here, there, and our job is to be ready, and our job is to catch them, not just, oh, okay, I acknowledge you as an idea, but then writing it down. Okay, because if you are the one, you yourself, if you are the one who is catching it, there's a meaning why you are there, not the other one. Okay, you need to catch it, make a note of that, make a list, keep it together. There is a reason why it is you who sensed it, okay, acknowledged it first amongst anybody else. Now, consciousness was also, I'm just looking down on my note, okay, consciousness was also talking about yes, your ideas. When you have your ideas, if you are working on a business, again, if it's your doing area of your life, keep your ideas to yourself. Okay, so once you have them, you acknowledge it, and then you feel that now I can have this one, I want to use this one, I want to try this one for my business, for my adventure, anything in your life. Okay, so translate this conversation to your own life. And consciousness is saying that keep it to yourself. Keep it to yourself. Keep it to yourself, because the time will be there when you are openly talking about it. But right now, again, with a water metaphor and then droplets, we are keeping ourselves here, because then that energy needs to be the energy or the frequency of that individual thought, the idea, that nudge, anything, that seed. You need to own it. You need to hold it into your heart, into your own sense, into your own reality. You need to feel it. You need to sleep with it. Okay, dream about it. You need to experience it without immediately sharing it away, because you were the one who got it. There is a reason why you got it. Remember that. It means it's your job to do something with that. Okay, and then later, when you feel that the time is right, then you are sharing. You are talking. You are contributing. You are adding it into the flow of the big energy all together. I hope it makes sense. So they are saying there will be a lot of firework of inspirations, ideas, thoughts, solutions. A lot of this is right now. This is what I mean. Actually, what I'm feeling and what I'm seeing about this or for this, but at the same time, our job is to catch what belongs to us. In fact, catching everything what belongs to us, and then picking, choosing what is really resonating, not without overwhelming ourselves, but then what is really out of 10 ideas, what might come to you, choose the one which is, let's just see which is the most interesting for me right now in my time. What is the one which is really tickling my curiosity, so have a little conversation with those ideas, and then you will see which one is coming forward, and then you own it and own it before you contribute it back to the great energy. And everybody is going to do that once they have the awareness to be that way, or to experience their life in that way. Okay, so now there was one more thing. Oh, yes, family conversations. Let's talk about relationships, family conversations, relationships, any kind of settings. Now, the time we are going through, it really felt like when I was asking, okay, what is the last thing we need to be aware of or understand for the month of June 2024, was immediately I was feeling as if I was going through a thunder, like a last phase of a thunder, a winter thunder, because it really felt like as if I have already experienced a huge winter, snow and wind and tornado and everything. I'm seeing everything, but then I am on the last phase, and then I'm feeling it quieter and quieter. Now, I tell you, it's quite interesting. As I'm saying this, I'm aware that, some people might say that, actually, no, hang on, check out what is happening in the real world. Uh, what are you talking about? What energy are you talking about? We are leaving behind and we are moving into, because now it is the last phase of this winter, last phase of the winter, because as I'm feeling moving through this storm, I'm already, I still feel the energy, but at the same time, the energy of the storm and not seeing and all those things. But then at the same time, I am seeing. I'm catching the moments when I'm seeing. I'm catching the moments when it's clearer, even if it goes a little blurry next, but then it's getting clearer. And then there is another moment of clarity and another moment of clarity. And then as we are moving forward, it becomes clearer and clearer, even if on the human level altogether on this earth, in the objective three-dimensional reality, we feel that's actually, it's a different story altogether. Okay, so I talk about what the energy is directing me to talk about, so if this happens, in your life, when you're in your relationship, when you feel that, oh, we are still going through the thunder, we are still going through the tornado, it's difficult, my family members are not understanding me, I have difficulties with my colleagues, all those conversations, again, go back to the very first conversation, observing and acknowledging that every single one of us is there for a reason, because consciousness was talking about is that moving forward, we will experience even greater upheavals of energies within the communication, within the interaction of people. Doesn't matter where we are, family, work, anywhere, shops, okay, anything. There will be even greater energy of, ooh, ooh, little goats with their horns, trying to be right, trying to say that I am right, and I want you to listen to my opinion, and so on and so on. So spirit energy, okay, God consciousness, energy, consciousness is talking about that we will have more of this, and then this is where we can catch ourselves. Usually we would respond, react, all those things. Just listen to the second point, what you made here, but then they are encouraging us to know, to have that awareness that it is happening. We've got the choice. We can either go with that conversation, or we are observing and just knowing that this is happening. I need to be here in this very moment, but it doesn't mean that I need to take part in it, So if it is literally happening within your family, within your smaller community, where everything might be even more intensified, let's say within a room, everybody's there, and oh, there is a firework, that is the energy. That is the energy there. Then position yourself differently. Give yourself the breathing space, So practically, okay, your practical way to deal with this is positioning yourself differently and giving you the space. You can either step back, change your position, pick up your handbag, pick up a book, pick up your glass, create the energy, change the energy when nothing is changing, but then you have the awareness, then you are able to change the things around and for yourself. Because once you do that, it will have an impact on the others, okay? So, and then it all happens before you even open your mouth and start saying things, you know? So have that awareness, disposition yourself differently, but at the same time, remembering this is the last phase of the tornado, okay? And I'm talking about the energies here, okay? So these were, I feel, the most important points what we were given for this month, June 2024. Now you notice I'm not using cards or various things. I just asked the question, and throughout the last couple of days, the conversation comes together, and then that's why we are here to share this conversation. Okay, so let me know how it resonated with you, what breakthroughs, what reflections, what observations you have taken, what you have maybe journaled about. Although whichever page you are listening to this conversation, being mindful, I feel, is important. So we are not sharing a lot of our personal conversations, but if you feel that you want to share something, you've got more personal conversation, feel free to send me an email to hello@zsuzsannamedium.com, and you can find me on all the main platforms. If you are listening as a podcast, our podcast is Let's Talk Spirit, which is available on all the main platforms, where we are talking about anything and everything spiritual or not spiritual or nothing, but we are talking about those things as well, but anything related to raising the frequency and being there for each other. Okay, one little droplet, another little droplet. Okay, so ZsuzsannaMedium.com, and if you would like to have a private conversation, private coaching session, everything is available on my website, www.zsuzsannamedium.com, and feel free to check out all the links which are provided with this conversation, and check out all the other conversations, whichever channel platform you are listening to. Okay, so thank you very much for your attention. Looking forward to hearing from you, your feedback, your insights. If you would like to have your personal conversation coaching or personal reading, psychic, intuitive, mediumistic readings, or really channeling the energy, because sometimes we are going different conversations, different energies, different layers. If this is what we need to have, then that is available for you. Everything is there on my website. If you are interested in addition to this, interested in developing your abilities, please stay on board, because the new opportunities now for June, July, the summer is being posted. Okay, and the new opportunities will be open very soon for the autumn term. Okay, autumn 2024. So here we go. Thank you very much for your attention. It was lovely to be here and talking to you and sharing all these conversations. Feel free to write about this, paint about this, draw and reflect, question, ponder and wonder. That's why we are here. Okay, so thanks very much for being here, and come back another time. Okay, so thank you.